Okay.
Okay. Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Carrie.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon for this interview after your
Sure.
past 2 weeks, I guess I'd say. So, can you tell everybody what your name is and what you do for a living?
My name is Karen Banfield, and I am a primary school teacher.
Okay. So, what are your days like currently? Now, we know that school is kind of out, kind of in, it's like one foot in, one foot out kind of thing. So, what are your days generally like
Well, I would say that for most teachers, school is never really out. Days have been different in recent times, of course, because of COVID and so on. And, we had to go into the online teaching, which in itself brought another set of challenges. Some expected, some anticipated, and others totally were not.
now? Right.
But either way, we are on break right now. And as you may know, the start of school has been extended until the 26th.
Right.
So still in our planning stages, we are always glad when we get a little bit more time to put in that planning. So days right now mostly consist of planning.
Okay. So I'm gathering from that, would you say that your days right now are hectic, stressful, busy?
I would still say that days are definitely busy because with the recent La Soufriere volcanic event and the ash and so on, just like I assume, you're in your household,
Correct.
there was all of this extra cleaning to do
Yeah.
and dealing with that
Still have cleaning to
water
do.
being off,
Yeah.
still have cleaning to do every day, and you still have to fit in all the usual events in your day.
Correct.
So it's been a little busy, but manageable.
Okay. All right, good. I'm happy to hear that you're managing for sure. It's
Have to.
definitely difficult for everyone right now. And I don't
Mhm.
envy you as a teacher, to be honest. I really don't right now. So you're also a mom. Tell us how that's been going. Like, how are you managing there?
Well, I am a mother of one daughter. She's 12 years old, recently entered secondary school. And for me, maybe that's the greatest challenge there because I'm a teacher, but I'm also a mom. So all of the things that you will have to do with your children, especially not only a mom, but a single mom.
Right.
So that in itself comes with its own challenges,
Of
given
course.
that everything sometimes seems to be on you. So when you're a single mom, you have to deal with the kids, you have to deal with cooking, you have to deal with the cleaning, inside and out. So whereas some households may have the males, you will find that I tend to be the one to be outside up on the ladder trying
Right. Of
to clean the
course.
windows and
Of
do
course.
all the outside maintenance work and so on. So that in itself definitely can be challenging. And of course, she is a preteen.
Ah, yes,
And
yes.
so, challenges that come along with that. The old time people would say back chat,
Right,
where
right.
you get all of they have their own opinions,
Of
and
course.
sometimes you have to deal with trying to get them to see that, well, I'm a little older than you and I may have a little bit more experience and they may know what I'm talking about, but
Yes.
um so that definitely can be challenging, but
Okay.
anybody that is a mother will tell you still rewarding.
Good. Good. So yeah, it sounds to me like you are definitely somebody in charge. You're a teacher, so you're in charge of school children, other people's children, and
Right.
their well-being. And you're also a mother, single mother, so you're in charge of your household for sure. So
Definitely.
definitely applause to you for that, for having all of that. And for sure, I
Thank
think
you.
you're a good example for others to follow. So talk a little bit now about how you found me, and what our first
Okay.
conversation was like.
Well, I would have to say that I'm a newbie to Instagram. I can't even remember the reason that I joined in the first place.
Right.
Typically, it was just mainly on Facebook, but I recently joined Instagram, and one night I was going through, just scrolling through, and I came across this session that you were doing, I believe, with the Diva
Yeah, yeah,
salon.
yeah.
Yes. And I don't know what caused me to click on it, but I did. And um funny enough, it was more her that had attracted me because Diva salon, I'm a female and I like to
Right,
take care of myself too from time to
right,
time. So I went into that page more so thinking that I would find something about hair and that kind of stuff. But then
right,
she was doing a live session, and the session was more about our, mental health and challenges that she as a business owner faces,
right,
and you were, engaging her in an interview similar to this, and speaking directly to her followers and so on. And so I watched it and I like what I heard,
yeah,
being that you were talking not only about persons who are looking to lose weight, but about the holistic approach that you take.
right.
So the mind, the diet, and of course exercise.
Right.
And
Okay.
so from there, then I sent you a little message telling you that I was interested in your services and so forth.
Right.
Because weight managing my weight has been a challenge for sure over the years. And I'm one of these persons who tend to go up and down and up and
Right.
down. And so that in itself can sometimes feel like a defeat,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when you gain back the weight.
Right.
And usually when you gain back the weight, for some reason it's always more,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
That can
know.
tend to happen for sure.
Yeah. So I reached out, and that is how we would have linked up.
All right. So that first call, I remember chatting with you, and you seemed a little bit tentative. Um,
Mhm.
what are some things you recall about that first call that maybe surprised you about our approach with Basa Basa and the coaching and stuff? Like you got some homework, for example, you
Well,
know?
let me go back even a little bit further.
Okay.
I think in messaging you, your system where you have to put in a little bit about yourself, where you
Right.
have to say what you think the challenge is that you're having and so forth, so that when we met the first time online, you were able to come prepared to
Prepared.
deal with. Yeah. And I would have to say that that was a very emotional night for me. I was typing, and I remember telling you in my message that I'm a single mom,
Mhm.
12-year-old daughter, and basically I didn't want to have to go on and leave her. And by go on and leave her, I mean pass
Yeah.
away,
Of course.
die,
Yes. Yeah.
from a heart attack or stroke, or these non-communicable diseases that are out there, and
Yes.
um, and are exacerbated by weight,
Right.
and are the lack of control and management of your weight.
Right.
Right. I'm also hypertensive. I have been for a while, um, from back in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now.
Right.
And I know I don't look it, but
Yeah.
I'm
Black don't
there.
crack, girl.
And
Black don't crack.
that's right. And so I think it's time now to take charge, because it's really real to think that someday, I mean, I know everybody has to die, but
Right.
I don't want to die before, my daughter can,
Of course. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
take care of herself.
I can hear and I can see the emotion in your voice, for sure. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. And it can be very emotional when you have to take stock of yourself and what
Hmm.
you're doing,
Right.
or not doing, that may
I
be
got you.
causing you to be in this situation. So, and being a single mom, sometimes, and let me speak directly to your listeners, right?
Right.
They are, for me, everything else takes priority. My job, my daughter, the house, the chores,
Yeah.
even the dogs outside. and then I crash
Hmm.
sometime late at night, very late, and I don't find the time, or I wasn't finding the time
Yeah.
to take not even 10 minutes, as you would say, for myself.
Right.
And basically that's what it is. And in our first conversation, you brought to my attention, you know what? You said to me, tell yourself that you're not doing it for your daughter, you're not doing it for, all these other reasons, but you're doing it for you. You
Right.
are worth it. And I find that that is what I had to keep in my mind over these past 2 weeks, because it wasn't easy to get up and do the exercise, even if it was just for 10 minutes.
Right.
I would be online, I would be working, I would be planning, I would be doing whatever. And it would feel like if I can't leave what I'm doing. It's so
Mhm.
important. I can't put it down. I must get this finished. I have deadlines to meet.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I don't take care of myself, then I still can't do and meet all these deadlines. I still
Exactly.
can't be here for my daughter, etc., etc. So that first coaching session, what I really took away from it, more so than, I know you gave me a little homework and so on, but
Yeah.
what really, really made a difference for me was to hear that I am worth it, and to recognize that I am worth it, and I am worth it to
Yes.
just take just 10 minutes for myself
Exactly.
every day.
Exactly. I'm happy at least that was properly delivered from me. You know what I mean? Because that's why I do this, is to make a difference. And even if just that one thing made a difference, I'm happy about that for sure. And I'm happy that you're happy, you know? All right. So going on
And
then from that one session, say a little bit about the homework that you got.
well, my homework basically was to start small, because I am very ambitious. We have goals and we want to lose the weight and all of that. But you told me that you felt I was putting too much on myself.
Right.
So to begin with small goals, which were accessible, and manageable. So my homework was to commit to at least 2 days exercising at least 2 days a week for just 10 minutes.
Right.
Just 10
Just 10
minutes.
minutes. Now, when you
Just
heard
10
that, when you
minutes.
heard me tell you that, what were your first thoughts?
Um, well, I was like relieved, to be honest,
Okay.
because what I had said before was a little daunting. I think I was saying to you that I would get up every day and I would do this
Yeah.
exercise, and that was feeling a little daunting, because in my mind I'm telling myself, how am I going to get this done, or how am I going to get this in? And it
Right.
may seem to some persons listening out there that, well, I exercise every day, so what's the problem? Just make the time.
Yeah.
But it's not as easy as that for me.
Right.
So I felt relieved when you said bring it down to just 10 minutes, make it a smaller goal.
Good.
And um, then I think that, I know most person would say 10 minutes. Well, if you exercising just 10 minutes a day, that can't do anything.
Mhm.
But I've noticed that, and this came out in our last session, that I'm sleeping a little better,
Good.
right?
Good.
And whereas the moves, however, aren't as easy as yet, the
Right.
exercise that I've been doing, I'm getting there, and it will
Good.
take time, and I know it'll take time. So there's
Good.
progress.
Fantastic. Has
Mhm.
that has that has your getting active again, even for just 10 minutes, even for twice a week, or even 3 times a week, as we try to get you up a little bit more during the week,
Yeah.
has that influenced your eating at all, your water intake? Because you mentioned that your sleep has improved. Has anything else improved
Right.
because you've been active?
Well, my water intake, I think I have to do a little bit work on that.
Okay.
That is terrible.
Right.
But the eating, well, I have been making a conscious effort to try to watch what I'm eating
Good.
a bit
Okay.
more. I tend to, I don't know if it's a Barbadian culture or whatever the case may be, but like, Friday or Saturday nights, you tend to go to the neighborhood
Right,
person and get
right, right,
your
right, right.
chips and that kind of stuff. So I've cut back on that a bit, not going every weekend, for example.
Okay,
And I'm looking now during the day at adding more vegetables to
good,
my meals.
good, good.
Mhm.
So would you say then that you're being active a little bit more now has made you think a little bit more about how you eat, being conscious of your meals, etc.?
Well, I never really looked at it that way, to be honest, Carrie, but
Okay.
I suppose we could make the link there.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. Yeah, I would make the link there. I mean, yeah, because generally that's how it goes. So once you start working on one piece, as you know, like I do mindset, nutrition, movement, and sleep as part of our whole holistic service. And once you start
Right.
working on one, you become conscious. Even if you don't try in the other parts, you become consciously aware of what's happening or not happening in the other aspects of your life. So yeah, it definitely influences. It's just how it comes over is different for different people, you know.
Mhm.
So tell me about managing all this during the ash fall now.
Mhm.
Give me one
Well,
second. I'm gonna pause this for one sec while I go turn off this alarm
okay,
that's going off in the background. Give me one sec. Sorry.
sure.
All right. Yes. Tell us how you managed during this ash fall with the exercise and the stress management and stuff. How did it go for you?
I have to be honest with you. It went downhill
Yes.
with the ashfall,
Right.
and not because there wasn't the desire to get up and exercise, but mainly because the house was closed up all day. The
Right.
windows, everything, and in here was extremely hot. I mean, there were
Mhm.
some days that I felt like I couldn't even breathe properly, and
Right.
it was
Right.
really terrible out this side.
Hmm.
Um, Not to mention water. Up to
Yeah.
now, still we had challenges with the water and so on. So
Yes.
I was only able, I'll be very honest. I know I was supposed to be getting in the three. I was supposed to move up to three, and I
The
actually
three.
went down to one.
Okay. Okay.
Actually went down to I was able to do it one day.
So tell me about that. How do
So,
you feel knowing that through all of this, through the ashfall, through the changing in the school schedule, because I know you were supposed to go back to school and then all of a sudden you can't go back to school. How do you
right.
feel knowing that you still managed to get a session in? How do you feel about that?
Well, that feels okay. I felt a little disappointed, to be honest, because I
Okay.
still wanted to keep up, and I have this fear that if I fall back,
Hmm.
it's always harder to start over
I got you.
motivation wise.
I got you.
So I felt a little disappointed about that, but I'm not getting down on myself too much.
Good.
It really almost was not tolerable. I literally will go outside. This is so funny. I will go outside to the patio trying to get some fresh air because
Right. Right.
I could not breathe, but the air was full of ash.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it really wasn't fresh air.
Yeah.
But I felt like I still had to go to the patio
Right. To
because
get to just to get out the space a little
I
bit.
just to go. I really couldn't breathe. I
Yeah.
really could not breathe well in here. So I would tend to do that. And I'm so happy now that, the ash has subsided and
Hmm.
can kind of go back to normal.
Yeah, I can relate
Because
to your story. Being inside the house during the ashfall, man, it was hard for sure. I do want
some
to I want to commend you though, because you
okay.
did do one session, and
One session.
as much as you may feel some disappointment because you didn't get to do the 3 sessions you had planned, the thing is, if you look at it from this perspective, you through the ashfall and through all the other stresses that you were accustomed to handling, and then some added pressure now you were able to
Right.
commit to yourself. You were still able to commit something to yourself, even if it was just one session. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know what that means now going forward, because you haven't fallen back. Understand that there's no falling back here because you went from 2 sessions down to one due to ashfall. You get what I'm saying? You've not gone backwards at all. If anything, you've moved forward because you said, you know what, the ash is falling, things aren't the best, but I'm still going to get at least one session in. That's not going backwards, Karen. That's going forward. Right? So that means
Yeah.
now that if things are better as they are, things are getting better with the ash and so on.
Right.
That means then you'll be able to look back and say, you know what? I did a session during Ash, so that means I can't stop me now. You see what I'm saying? Right? So it's
Going
definitely
clear.
gone
Yeah.
clear. So there's no going backwards. You haven't fallen off. You know, what do you think about that?
I think that's great. I think that's awesome. And I'm just looking forward to my journey. I'm at the beginning of it. So
Mhm.
I'm not really seeing anything yet, happening.
Right.
Like my clothes aren't loose or
Right, right,
anything
right,
yet,
right.
but I'm still excited about the journey because I really, really want to get this under control. And as you said, how emotional I got. Like when I think of my daughter, like she is just my all, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I definitely wouldn't want to go on before my time.
Gotcha. Well,
So
you know,
that's
this, yeah, I understand you completely. I I don't have any children, but I feel the same way about my nieces and my nephew. I feel the same
right.
way about my wife. You know, I wouldn't want to, you know, leave prematurely, as you're saying, you know. Um, but understand also that the results you're getting are your mental mindset results right now. And that is part of the four-part puzzle that we work on, right? Once your mind is in the right place, once your worldview and everything is in the right place, then everything else is going to come together. And then on top of that, you know, all of this so far has been complimentary. We haven't even started a full-fledged relationship yet.
True.
You know what I mean? So there's
And
still a lot more to do.
it's so like it was so strange. It was almost like I couldn't believe how much work I need to do with my mind,
Right,
you know.
right.
I like that because I think of myself as a confident person.
Hmm.
I was never one, although that I am overweight, I am big, fat, whatever people would want to, term
Right.
that. I never looked at myself in a negative way,
Understood.
right? And but I find that that has started to creep in there in
Gotcha.
recent times, right?
Gotcha.
But I was always confident, always felt beautiful, and my size was never an issue. I
Right.
dance, I have a good time like
Good.
anybody else,
Of course. Of
and
course.
that was never an issue. But for some reason, it's beginning to creep in there, and I think that's one of the things that told me I needed to do something.
Gotcha.
So as much as I came across your page accidentally,
Hmm.
it kind of feels like if it was just supposed to be.
Right. Divine intervention, reason for everything, universe conspiring to do good things for you. Yeah, for sure. All those
something,
things.
something.
Yeah, all those things. Okay, fantastic. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome interview. So right now, what I'm going to do, we're going to end it off here. But then you and I are
Okay.
going to chat a little bit just after, so we can just wrap up some things. So right now, I just want to say thank you, Karen, for being part of this process
That's so
and for
welcome.
sharing your story, so that others, such as yourself, other single mothers, other persons who are teachers who are feeling distress and so on, can learn and perhaps be inspired by what you started.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you so much
Okay.
for all that you have done thus far.
All right. Thank you, and you're welcome.